Okay, let's try and get through this as fast as we can reasonably do so. Alright, hey everyone, welcome to Granblue Radio. This is Vibrating Sheep. Hold on, I am in the wrong window for Granblue Fantasy. Which one is the open Granblue Fantasy one that's being captured? It's this one! Haha! Thanks OBS for not having previews the way that I want you to, because I'm using you improperly. Alright, anyway! Welcome
Nice.
to... Let's try that again. Welcome to Granblue Radio. This is episode number 293. This is Vibrating Sheep of Granblue_EN. With me, notably without, unfortunately, the appliance that he was waiting all day for.
I'm sad. Also, I'm DJ.
Alright, so... Where do you
I
want to
actually wrote
start?
down notes this
It's the
time.
beginning of September. There's a lot to talk about because Premium Gala, new event, gave us a new thing, a new toy. So...
How did your rolls go for end of summer? Actually,
Let's see here. Inventory, characters, filter it for new. So I decided to zero ticket Clarice, but um, they went poorly.
okay.
End of summer rolls kind of went meh. Like it didn't go so badly that I got a siren, but I got like Magus Triad of Wisdom. I got two Maguses Triad of Wisdom.
I have
My
no
bad.
idea what the thing even does.
It is the generic light 100 something percent attack summon.
Ah.
All right. So where do you want to get started though? We've got a lot to talk about, DJ.
How did you write it in the agenda? I can't see it right now.
The first one on the list then is Yngwie style.
All right. So style, we find out after a week. Style event changed the character completely.
It's wild. So
You still need this Yngwie in order to actually change his style.
where is he? Nope, he's not in that team. I'm just gonna have to go and find him. So it changes everything but like the character's element basically, because Yngwie used to be melee gun, but guess what he is now?
He has a sword now.
He's got a sword. He's not only got a sword, but so it also doesn't change his EMPs. We'll get to that actually. There's some things that happen with with EMPs that I need to take hostility right off of him.
Yeah, he's not defensive anymore. He is attack spec.
So, all right, let's talk about what this gave Yngwie and what this means for the future. So here we have the style button. You can go to default style, which is his melee gun form, where he turns into Blastoise mid-fight, eats a bunch of meter, and then turns back into Yngwie. Flavorful, but outdated.
It's also really annoying to manage.
Mm-hmm. Or we've got the new one, Legend of Bravado and Revelry, who they're not subtle about it. He's sitting on top of a Unite and Fight thing.
Maybe I'll use it for a knife fight,
Maybe, maybe. And this gave him a rework. So he's sword specialty now, and he's got all new skills. So we start
The second skill's still the same, but
true wild and tough stays the same, but the context around it, everything changes around that. So
oh yeah,
let's start with his new showcase ability, which is Ironclad. Ironclad used to be the thing that turned him into Blastoise. Like, he'd turned him into the Full Metal Transform. Well, his new skill 3 is a Kupitan skill 3. Or, say, a Feather also has this button, where it's reset skills. Then you can use your red skills twice this turn. Saurus has this too.
Source is technically on his passive. Technically,
Technically. But yeah, so um, the other thing this gives him is he eats his own HP now instead of eating the rest of the party's meter, and he gets a passive attack bonus, which I believe is what 30% perpetuity was it?
30,
He gets a damage cap bonus,
20%.
and his triple attack rate goes up.
By up, it's guaranteed.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that made Wild and Tough so annoying in old Yngwie form, is that you would hit that button, you would punch once, and you would
And
gain
you get
10
sad.
meter. And you're like,
He had
oh.
no way to increase his multi-attack.
And so this already has a huge amount going for it. The cooldown's 10 turns, but it's a fake cooldown because Full Metal Destruction, massive
I
water.
lied. Tough guy was actually guaranteed double attack.
So it felt like just punching once, seriously. Like, I would just get sad all the time.
It was twice, and also he ate his meter every turn.
Yeah. I think that's the reason that I just pretended that it was single attacking all the time. But anyway, Full Metal Destruction. He gets dodge, tank, and counter. And then the important part, 2-turn cut to skill cooldowns.
Uh, it's just generic two-turn cut on one of his buttons 4 turns. That's wild. It's the
And
attack out of turn button.
not just that, it's the attack out of turn button, and on that turn you're guaranteed to triple attack twice, which is 74 meter. And then you triple attack again, and then you CA again, and this Wild and Tough button's back up. Anyway, so before he was doing a bunch of dances that involved managing meter and things like that. They're like giving up and just saying, look, you want to attack a lot of times.
He gets meter.
Yeah. Especially since Disciple of Hell also gives him 30 meter. So yeah.
And autocast when he's below 50% health. Huh, I think he ate 50% of his health already.
Yeah. So he's just CAing all the time, and he's hitting Wild and Tough like every other turn, and then on Ironclad turns he hits it another 2 times.
Like Ironclad is a 7-turn duration. It is not 7-turn, but you get it back before 7 turns.
Mm-hmm. You really get this back before 7 turns go. And then, so here's the thing. He got a lot less tough. So Die Hard Guy is now, he starts the fight with Guts 1 time, so he survives at 1. But 1 time he gets all of his skills back if he's at low health. So he just does
hit red.
all of the damage. And unlike characters like, say, Gawain, he doesn't heal himself out of there. You'll just leave him there, and then he does crap tons of damage, and then dies. But, like...
Fortunately enough, he also sacrifices current HP.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that he can use this, he can still use Ironclad at low HP.
Right, which is relevant for things like he's now one of the better options for your damage in Mugen, if you are doing specifically the Viking method. Because you're dedicating 2 character slots to survival in that one. With, you have to use Lily and 4, specifically. And then, the damage spot goes to characters like, it was Grand Lancelot before, now it's Yngwie.
Yeah, this one's on a grand character.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like, being that Water Enmity has been getting a huge push in recent, months and years.
Best friends with John.
Best friends with the new Jean, for sure. I don't need this multi-attack 2%. Let's put him on Attack Awakening, because he needs that.
He doesn't need multi-attack in any slightest form.
He doesn't need very much, because much like other characters in this form, he also doesn't really care about any attack you give him, because his own natural bonuses give him just like stats up the yin yang. But yeah. So what this means for the future is there are some old 5-stars that, we don't really use much anymore. And this opens up the door to using a bunch of them. Let's go take a look at some of the 5-star uncaps.
My note for radio was Yngwie style adds a lot to older characters, allows them to be new without having to roll a new character.
Yeah. So, for example, Alethea got a huge update with his 5-star, sure. But what about an old character like Desahualpili, who had his moment in the sun? He was a staple of early Granblue Fantasy. He is no longer a staple in modern Granblue Fantasy, and he can totally get a big update. And, you know what he can also get?
A bird.
a nose. I was gonna say a nose because he is still original Minaba style with no nose. Yeah, and so yeah, this opens up a lot. The one complaint that I do have about styles is that this is exactly like when we had event-based 5-star uncaps, where the note about it says, this is this is unlocked by having a flag that says I have completed this quest. And so as soon as September 5th hits and this event goes away, people who didn't do this are left out until we get to a either a rerun or they do something just like this shop that lets us go and pick up old event 5-star items.
Well, the difference is that there's no item attached to this.
Yes, that's the problem. And so I hope that they soon figure out how to get this taken care of, because it is not a fun thing to be left out. Like, I remember back in the original days of event 5-stars, and it's like, I don't have Zeta 5-star. Sorry guys, I can't do this thing. Like, I literally cannot do this content because I'm gated by 5-star for a character I have but have not gotten the 5-star uncap for. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I hope that they take care of that soon.
Immediately into side stories.
That would be unusual at best. But yeah,
I mean, that'll give you the flag.
I'm really wondering what this does to older 5-stars and who's next on the list. Like, I immediately zeroed in on Nezuhalpili, but people pointing out just like Lady Grey can get new life from this. Um, like Light De La Fee's fine. Let me just think of like other old 5-stars that you're just like, oh,
Well, they have to change their style. Also, is the main thing.
right.
Like he literally went from tanky boy to I'm holding forward attacking.
I mean, what about old Earth Cagliostro? She can, she's, I think, officially listed as healer or something like that? Or is she balance? Let's find out. Filter. Earth staff.
She is heal.
Yeah, she could use
Because
it.
she was like one of the very only characters in Earth that had a heal.
And a clarity, yeah. It used to be a thing. So, you know, there's a lot of characters who could use this treatment. Yeah.
It really depends on how you can make this context based. Also.
All right. So that is Styles. I like it. It is especially good because it is a free update. It is especially bad because it is a time-gated update, so you can miss out. But on the plus side, it's attached to probably the best event of the year.
Hot old man. Hot old man.
Hot old man. Hot old man. Banks table. Hot old man. Does that mean that we're going immediately to Anderson?
Yes.
All right. Let's go talk about hot. What is it? Hot guy autumn? No, wait.
Yeah. My note here says very beefy man.
All right. So we'll start very briefly by talking about the Blade of Loyalty, which is a double HP weapon. It is double small HP, but you know what? It goes under the same category as Ophelia. Someday this will get a 4-star, and I will pay attention to it. But, so let's talk about Anderson, or as I like to call him, the love child of Isaac and Wilness, and also parts of Yngwie, but the new Yngwie.
Well, Isaac requires a shield for his part, love child part.
Right. All right. So, Fire Tank. Fire Tank has been dominated by Athena for a while, and she's not really a tank. She's more
not
like
a tank. She'll actually die.
Yeah, she is more of an overall reduction to the amount of damage you take. So right now, Fire's best tank, who's readily available, is like Vazaraga? Question mark.
The fire one. From,
yeah, who has his issues. Fire's actual best tank is Valentine's Vera, who is one of the two most
character.
Yeah, one of the two most limited banners of the year, given that Valentine's and Halloween are the hardest ones to get. But all right, there's a lot to take in here with Anderson, but I'm going to start with his passives, which says the most wind damage he can take at a time is 5,000. When he takes damage at all, he gets a 1-turn cut to buff cooldowns. And the buff in this case, there is um, the personal steroid where he gets amped damage, triple attacks, and also when he presses this button, he attacks without using a turn.
Yeah,
So
it's a buff that is technically a red button, but they just made it yellow.
specifically so that Righteous General and Sable works. The other thing it lowers the cooldown on is his all sub, which has 1,000% defense and 5 hits of tanking counter. So, notably, things like Ewiar still will eat through his shield and possibly kill him. But, like, it takes a lot. Like, with 1,000% boosted defense, Ewiar is like Dragon's Nest or whatever it's called, will not actually hurt him that much. It'll just do a lot of small amounts of damage. So it would take something.
Yeah, this thing also lasts for 3 turns, by the way.
Yeah, it'd take a lot to kill him through this, is what I'm saying. Notably, he doesn't appear to have wind switch.
It's okay, you have Athena for that.
Yes. So, anyway, we're starting there though because you want him to take damage. You want him to take damage every turn, so that basically he attacks out of turn here, and um, there's something weird about how he attacks. So he gains 0 bar on attacking, so that's the willness part here. And then after he attacks, he activates his nuke, which
Which is
gives
also
him,
a this part.
which is also a willness part, which activates and does 30, gives him 30 meter, just like Yngwie, also like Isaac, I think.
I thought Isaac was 20.
Isaac's is 20, but it's still every time he attacks, he gets a nuke, which builds his meter. So, um, Isaac is allowed to multi-attack for more meter. It's just that naturally, it's very hard to get him to multi-attack. So
He has
a
like
lo-
a minus 47% multi-attack, by
yeah,
the way.
so a lot of the time, Isaac also gains 30 meter when he attacks. It's just that 10 of it came from attacking.
Yeah, Wellness also only gets 20, but he also gives himself like stupid buffs.
hmm And the last little bit here is his CA, which heals him. Do you know the heal
2000.
number? It's 2,000? 10,000?
2000.
2,000. That's actually pretty small. But it also dispels on his CA, adding to just, a general toolbox. He is here for long fights. Like, he is incredibly stable. He will always do the same thing, right? Like, let's just take a look at how this guy does on full auto. First, he amplifies his attack damage, triple attacks, gains 30 meter. So you're now at 60 meter with him. Then then he all subs on turn 1. Okay, sure. Then he does his nuke, and he's now at 90 meter on turn 1. And sure, he's not going to gain meter from the actual attacking, but he has attacked 6 times in 1 turn. Well, he's triple attacked twice in a single turn. And he's now at 90 meter, which means that if literally anyone in front of him CAs, then he'll join. And then you get this, and then as long as he's taking damage, then every 4 turns or so, he does this sequence again, where he attacks out of turn, gains 30 meter, attacks normally, gains another 30 meter, and is almost ready to go for another CA again if he's not already doing it from just the previous turns of attacking and gaining 30 meter. And it's like, this is very stable. Every 8 turns he'll all sub. In Nightmare stuff, in Unite and Fight, the fact that he has a buff removal on his CA is nice. And given how consistent he is at gaining meter, like, a lot of Unite and Fight and Nightmare full autos depend on a certain pace of gaining meter every turn, and if your characters suck at multi-attacking, which is rarer and rarer in these days, then sometimes they fall out of sync, and you're like, oh crap, I didn't get to this.
You don't care about it, how much multi-attacking he does. He just has to attack.
Yep. And, sometimes you're like, oh, my timing was off, I didn't cross 50% in time. This guy has the most stable timings of pretty much anyone, as long as hey, guess what? Wind foes really like to attack AoE or in little packages randomly targeted.
Yeah, his only weakness is actually mirror image.
Hmm.
He actually can't do anything to that except for CA.
And
And
then
even then, his CA does 0 damage at that point.
yeah, you will still get the classic Wind 0, but then he'll remove a buff from there. But like, I was seeing showcases of Anderson where it's just like he's not anything necessarily spectacular, but you know what he is? Extremely reliable.
Oh, he's been through a lot.
And there's value in that, you know? Also, he's freaking cool. Have you seen his CA animation?
Yes, I have.
It's so cool. I say that as a kid who grew up a Gundam fan, but he just charges up his laser, his railgun, whatever you want to call it. Let's go take a look at it. This character's dope. I love this guy. Here he is. Let's go, Grandpa. Look at this. He charges up the freaking Sephiroth cannon or whatever you want to call it with the eyeballs and everything, and yeah, I love this guy. All right. Anything else you wanted to add about him?
No, because literally the only note other note on here is like the only other non all sub and fire that isn't limited is Vazaraga.
And Vazaraga has
Yeah.
his place.
He also has his problems.
Mm-hmm. Like this guy doesn't really have problems. It's just he has notable counters, and it's like that's very different. All right. Next up, we're going to talk about Erika, who does something that literally no one else in Granblue Fantasy has done yet. So that's nice. Also, her French is apparently very bad, so hopefully they'll fix that like they fixed old German and stuff like that in the Granblue Fantasy localization. Or maybe it's intentional. Who knows?
I don't know.
But the thing that is very unique about Erika, so she's Water Gun, and Water Gun has a tradition of snipers. So Lisha snipes from the back row. Silva provides supporting fire with whoever she swaps in. So the showcase thing for Erika is her skill 1. She targets someone else, and they attack without a turn.
Why would you want to allow that to happen?
And if she has tactical edge after a CA, then the cooldown ends. So if you actually manage to hold this button back for like half a turn and you CA with her first, you can do it twice, which is cool. Or you can just,
Or I could just hit it.
You can just hit it. All right. But the reason that it's cool that she lets someone else attack out of turn is when another water ally attacks without using up a turn, then
What, her dad? What? The daddy?
she shoots backup fire, and backup fire in this case is 900k white damage, I believe.
It is 900k.
There are showcase videos of this which are just fun and ridiculous, and showcase videos like that tend to have a place, especially in Tower of Babel, where you're just like, I want to do as much damage as possible in one turn. So like that, Proving Grounds, and so I think it was like getting Yngwie to attack like 9 or 10 times in a turn without actually hitting the attack button before hitting the attack button. It is wild and fun. And also, yeah, she works with tag team and all sorts of crazy things.
With tag team 3, there will be 3 instances at max of that skill proccing, because it counts for every instance of someone else attacking that isn't her.
Yeah, and she has along with like the traditional so the traditional Lucha friend in Water is Summer Lucio, who provides Chaser. She doesn't do that. She does boost everything else about a character, though, because she can
100% crit rate, keen, and 15% amplify.
Mm-hmm.
Also lowers the skull cooldown, because why not?
Yeah. It's very rare that comes up with such a long cooldown, but you know what? It's fun.
What do you mean such a long cooldown? She CAs.
Oh yeah, huh? She CAs and
She
it just
CAs and that
ends.
goes off cooldown.
Yeah. My B. I missed that part. There's so much going on. So yeah. It's not as much as other characters, but it's consistent. And then the last thing about her is that she dispels, has water defense down, and defense down.
Dang, water dispeller. Color me surprised.
Yeah. She has a very low attack herself because she's relying on doing that 900k white damage, but she's
Yeah,
also.
she.
Oh, go ahead.
That's the same. This is actually the exact same passive as Wind Yugo.
And at the end of the turn, if no, she didn't take any damage, everybody else gets healed, and they get a 10% meter boost.
Yep, exactly as Yugo. So around in a normal party, she's around 14% chance likely to get hits.
So yeah, close to half as likely as normal. Um, this is a pretty funny underexplored space of attacking out of turn. Like I said, like um, some of the featured characters who can do it a lot uh, include Feather and Light, Yngwie right now, Anderson, and I don't know. Providing those dudes support fire is pretty funny. This is like not world changing or anything like that, but it is really funny. I like this.
Yeah, Yngwie is like literally the immediate thought.
hmm
Heck, that's actually what the event does for you in the
Yes,
first place.
it just teaches you to do this.
It literally says to give Yngwie another attack.
Yeah. So here's the Highland Cougar. It just has attack and garrison. It's a variation on what her dad's gun gives you, the Meteora, which is enmity garrison, I believe. Or is it? Let me see. Let me make sure. I have one. Filter. Let's go to water guns. It's might enmity garrison. Yeah, it's basically the same as the other gun. So like father,
So
like
what?
daughter.
So when it gets a 4-star, it's gonna get enmity, is what you're telling me.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But anyway, yeah. So that is Erika. I don't think there's that much to say about her. So are we ready to move on to Choreogra?
Uh, the only last note is she's really good fights that only do single target attacks. Because if you do all of the target attacks, she loses a lot of value.
Oh, she
That
specifies single.
because 10% meter a turn is actually really nice still.
Oh, there, yeah. That's fair. Because, yeah, let's just think about really common enemy types for Earth stuff. Let's see here. The octopus is infamous because it attacked a gajillion times a turn. And so that, even with only a 14% chance to be targeted, if something like attacks 8 times a turn for small damage, then it'll hit her more often than it doesn't hit her, it feels like.
Well, aren't we need to look at fire bosses.
Yeah. Let's see. Fire bosses hit AoE a lot. Like a lot, a lot. Atem hits AoE. Um, Shiva can hit AoE. It depends on which part of the fight you're in.
Let's see, AO is always AoE, I think.
hmm Let's see. Willness. Willness is almost exclusively single target. So let's go. Go get him.
We're gonna keep bowling Wilderness, I see. Can't use her Mugen. Mugen hits AoE.
Mugen beats the snot out of her. All right. Anyway, so that's that. Um, let's move on to Choreograph, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead and switch views so that we can see. Hold on. Do here. All right. So here's Choreograph for September 1st. So it's covering a lot of stuff that we already know. So here's the Yngwie update. Here is the Unite and Fight update. So number one, here's Hecate. They actually made her design more modest than she was in Rage of Bahamut, which is funny to me.
I mean, there's a lot of original designs that are very goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Uh, changes from previous Unite and fights. They're upping the amount of meat we get per fight. Thank God. Next up, they are changing the Valor Badge thing, and by the change to the Valor Badge thing, um, it's specifically the stuff that no one bought, the really cheap stuff in the shop. Let's go take a look at stuff that was there and how it is changing. So, where is it? Changes, updates to features. All right. So, the 200 badge exchange pack, the one that had a summon ticket and a character ticket, which, by the way, we'd never recommend anyone buy because the character ticket can roll R's and the summon ticket can also roll an R.
Just get the. You would rather get save up for the Sunlight Stone.
Mm-hmm. So they're just cutting the cost to 100. I highly predict that no one will get that.
I still don't think anyone will get this.
The 30-bit badge exchange pack. It is going to be changed to be a whole lot more White Dragon scales, Shining Orbs, Whorls, Skylight Scrolls, Light Orbs, and White Tomes. Notably, this is the number that you need in order to awaken one Revenant weapon.
You know, that actually has a use.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the 150 badge pack, the 100 badge pack, and the 10 badge pack are just going away because they were useless. The 10 badge pack is 3 elixirs and 3 souls. Like, why?
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah. And then the last thing is, so here's rank points and EXP will be adjusted. So for Unite and Fight, Nightmare 150 and 200, sometimes you would actually get annoyed when someone joined your Nightmare because it meant that you were getting less XP.
Oh, that's why I never opened mine up ever.
Yeah. They've changed that, so it's just like, look, the Unite part of Unite and Fight, they want that to at least be a consideration. So the old solo victory bonus, gone from 150 and 200. Instead, they're increasing the amount of rank and EXP. So number one, if you still solo it, it's actually more rank and EXP than before, and because it is a base amount, this one will get increased by journey drops and other bonuses, which the previous solo victory bonus did not get you.
So solo still then.
I mean, there's no difference if you solo it. There is literally no difference if you just continue to solo it, except that it gets better. There's more XP. You know, for people like me who just full auto it and maybe open it up just in case someone wants to come in and get some credit. Yeah, sure. I will just barely see a difference. You know, so it's a win-win scenario for pretty much everybody.
I can't. My teammates mess up my timings. That actually has happened multiple times, and that's why I stopped.
This is fair. This is actually fair. Where you look back, like, why am I dead? What happened? Oh no, I crossed a
triggered early.
I crossed a trigger too early, and the debuff fell off. All right. Starting tonight, we are getting new pictures of One Piece characters who will appear in this month's collab. One Piece film Red to Blue.
One Piece film Red, yeah.
Yeah. Luffy's going to be a fire unit. I'm very glad that he isn't light.
You mean the billion light characters we have from collabs?
If they're not light, they're wind most of the time. Which is, speaking of wind, here's Nami and Robin, who are wind.
Yeah, that one's fine.
And then the summon will be Uta, but starting today on Twitter, we'll be getting more art of One Piece characters in Granblue Fantasy style, which I always look forward to.
Look, we still need more Earth collab characters, just saying.
We really do.
However, we're in One Piece.
Hey, Frankie or Brook would both work as Earth, although I guess Brook would probably be dark, given that he's a skeleton. Chopper could be Earth, right?
An Earth Doctor, yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up. So Tower of Babel is getting something that the Tower of Luna has in Princess Connect, which is the, I don't know how to beat this one. What did other people do? Okay, I should copy this one. And it also even has the little button that says exclude characters I don't own.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of Tower Luna, just like stealing someone's setup.
hmm Unlike in Princess Connect, you still actually have to play the setup instead of having the characters just go off and do their own thing.
Well, that's because Princess Connect is an auto battler.
Yes. I mean, Granblue Fantasy has its moments as an auto battler, but not for the Tower of Babel. And so this is the thing, is that some people are complaining that this time we are not going to get a new lair and no new rewards. It is purely going to be for people to catch up. And as someone who has
People
beaten,
realize how many things there are in Tower.
yeah, and for people who, as somebody who has cleared literally every floor of Tower and mastered every level, I know a lot of people who can't beat Naked Bubs, and this is going to be their opportunity to do so, because, yeah,
Now they can copy somebody's setup
yeah,
without having to look at a video.
especially Naked Bubs. Naked Bubs can be done by like at least 4, 5 elements off of that from stuff that I have in my inventory right now, and I'm sure there's a lot more setups out there that I don't know about. And so, this is a catch-up month for the Tower of Babel. I was gonna say Luna. Um,
I need to go watch this, see what I can copy, and by that I mean find jankiest setups.
some of the jank setups, I'm gonna enjoy those. But yeah, like if this was a more regular event, I could understand taking more months off as catch-up. But yeah, it is kind of a missed opportunity. I hope that they do another Tower of Babel soon-ish that has new layers for us. But that's just me wanting to do more Tower of Babel stuff and also being 100% confident that no matter what comes up in Tower of Babel, I have what it takes to beat it. So
Just go be one of the people who makes an all R setup for clear, like the higher floor.
oh man, I was actually
That way
thinking
you can have that be put on somebody's recommendation
I
list.
I know for a fact that I am going to show up on other people's Tower of Babel recommendation parties with my obsession with Bobo 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 Bo. I cannot help but use that guy in Tower of Babel. It's an
I
addiction.
mean, it's always April first.
All right,
April first right now.
but
April August.
yeah, it's like April 180th or something like that. All right, next up, Robomi Z is coming to side stories. I
That's such a cool art.
That's so cool art with what is it, Tyreus, Death Row or Tyreus. Everyone's like, give me Tyreus. Continue the what is it, hot guy fall.
No, we could do the style change. It could change from Nicholas to Tyrius.
Oh, gee, that would be so dope. I would be so in for that. I would absolutely be in for Tyreus mode, Nicholas. All right. Um, Other things. So we've got the drop up campaign going on. It affects the Enneads, which matters to me a lot because I need so much anima and I don't care about the weapons anymore. So anyway, um, starting on September 14th, also when the One Piece collab starts, we will also get the 33 million player campaign, aka more half off and more free stuff. So yeah. And then more Skyscope missions. I am reminded that I need to arrange for 5 more or 4 or 5 more Blue Sea clears so that I can finish those on time. I'm just lazy.
Now, when's that end?
September 5th, I want to say, is when the
Okay.
Skyscope missions end because they don't want missions and a Unite and Fight to overlap. Let me make sure. Yeah, September 6th is when it ends. So September 5th for us. Right before prelims start for Unite and Fight.
Okay.
Anyway, so here's Anne 5-star. It happens on September 5th. Uh, the traditional right at the beginning of Unite and Fight 5-star character drop. At least they're not doing this on interval day? Question mark.
Oh yeah, that did happen that last time.
Yeah, we'll hit that next time. All
I'm
right.
using Anne right now to keep my two idiots who are killing themselves alive. Well, one idiot who's killing himself alive, the other one's gonna die in 19 turns.
I see. That's actually cool. Yngwie Darkjan.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to run Yngwie Darkjan in Unite and Fight. I will find a way to make it the most efficient thing I have. Anyway, we'll
I
keep
need stupid drops from the fights.
from what Tefnut?
Yeah.
Oh, the Esnas. Yeah, that makes sense.
I have them both at 0 star, and I'm like, man, I've been grinding you every day.
All right, so here's the next thing. So we're getting the unload function for Revenant weapons. This is long overdue. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I have so many just sitting in a stash right now. Let's go take a look at my stash. I'm curious. Stash. Here's drop. All right, filter for series Revenant weapons. How many are in here? I have 5 pages of Revenant weapons just sitting in here. And a lot of them have been manually uncapped before they were put into here because I hate myself apparently. God. Just yeah, I'm looking forward to mass uncap for this, especially since, I'm going to end up with another like 10, 15 Revenant weapons after this Unite and Fight. Next
Yeah.
up, we've got another daily login outfit coming. This one's for Fairy. Cool. Resort
Yeah.
Island.
I love Very.
Yeah,
I wish they reworked her dark version.
that's fair.
That character has not been used in a long time.
Here's the Resort Island update that we were waiting for. So this is as of the 16th, we get the next piece of it. This one makes me laugh. This one is a purely cosmetic, but people have been reacting to this extremely favorably. This is like the only thing that has gotten pure favorable response, which is
Rearranging your weapons.
rearranging your weapon grid so it's nice and neatly arranged.
It's so annoying trying to rearrange it right now because you
It's
don't.
awful.
Because if they all have the same plus marks right now, you can't tell the difference between any of your duplicate weapons.
Yeah, that part is in fact very annoying. Like I intentionally get some weapons of +1 just so I know which one is which. It's like putting a freaking nail polished blue dot on your turtle. All right. Next up. So here are changes that are coming to story events. So they've said, all right, story events have been getting harder and harder to play for people. So we'll make them even easier to play in certain ways. So number 1, they are going to rework Drawbox and honors and battle badge rewards, which they already did once, but let's rework them even more. Next, they will make it so that event like boss host mats will be easier to get, and so they're going to rework event boss drops. They will get rid of a lot of the single battles that you only did once and just never touched again. With a little asterisk here that says anything that you would have gotten from them will be moved into other rewards.
Oh, cool. So we still get our crystals.
Yep. And every day you will be able to host a certain number of event battles without using either AP or treasure. Yeah, that one's pretty big.
Nice.
So this is all under like development, and so things may change. But here are things; those are scheduled for the end of this month. For January and on, they will have stackable nightmares, so you can save up nightmares. This is something that people who do 20 boxes regularly tell me that is an annoying thing, that they have to have another window dedicated entirely just to knowing whether or not they have a nightmare.
Oh, from October and onward. Okay.
From maybe October onward, it'll be after October. So
Yeah, you said initially said January.
did I say January? Might be.
Yeah. There's a
Brain
one there.
brain did not connect what I was saying with what my mouth was doing. Anyway, So yeah, October or later. Um, Next up, um, a daily login bonus that you get, just like in Unite and Fight, where it just gives you 5 grudge chunks for logging in. This one will give you tokens and event-specific treasures for trade-in or for hosting stuff.
I just keep thinking Princess Connect every time I have to go back to the main menu and get three tickets for the boss.
Hmm. So yeah, they'll talk about that later, but this is something that they've been talking about is trying to get people to the story events because, like, even the most recent story event, Full Metal Man VII, like, it's a sequel to, multiple years of Fates that you, thankfully, they, let you read Yngwie's Yukata Fate,
So you can watch 5 and 6.
so you can actually watch Full Metal Man 5 and 6. They did that in the preview, in the related stories section here. So here, replay episodes related to the event, so you can actually see Full Metal Man 5 and Full Metal Man 6. But yeah, like
Did they fix that issue? I didn't actually read it. Did they fix the issue if you preview it this way? If you do the very first episode, it says get the X weapon to see more.
I actually don't know. Let's take a
Because
look.
that happened during the Marionette Stars event when I was
Mhm.
going through it. Because I didn't have True at the time.
I think this is the actual full thing. Yeah, Pikachu Hat says that I read the whole thing in chat, so that's good. All right, merchandise. Here's card sleeves. Blah blah blah. Here's the Grand Cipher Kitchen with cafe outfits for Eustace, Clarice, Joel, and Antheria.
Oh, I might be there in the time. Wait, when does that end?
I believe it'll end around Christmas.
I might be there. I'll take pictures.
Grand Cipher Kitchen, fourth menu. Yeah, it goes until November 30th. So you'll be there in time.
If I get to Japan in time.
Yeah. So here's Granblue Fest 2022. It's actually going to be held in 2023 due to venue conflicts and things like that because it's not going to be in Makuhari Messe. It's going to be in Big Sight. I hate Big Sight, but I'm going to have to go anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that is it for the month of September update. Let me go ahead and switch back to our regular view. So there's a lot that's going to be happening with the One Piece collab. I am very hopeful for that One Piece collab,
I mean, they'll treat it like love, like they do with every collab.
which is like I fully expect that Luffy will just do the exact same thing to the ship that he did for Skypiea. And it's like, oh, hey, look, we're up in the air.
Yeah, yeah. No, that would be anything new.
Because, I mean, for GBF and Gintama, they had to go back to every single time that Gintama mentioned either Shonen Jump or GBF and just remake the joke because it's Gintama. It's like these things are made with so much love. Freaking Final Fantasy XI collab is because KMR is like, hey, there's this story thread that's just like kind of sad when you end it. I want to see what happens after that. Let's make Prish less lonely.
Code Geass had a better ending.
Yeah, people with Code Geass are just like, I like this ending. Can we stick with this ending, please?
You know, no one had to die unnecessarily.
Yeah, like Lelouch and Suzaku sat down and talked it out like friends. It was weird.
Yeah, when they did an R2, Suzaku was slapping a gun to Lelouch's head.
I don't acknowledge the existence of R2. I'm sorry.
R2's amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. The only thing that sucks about it is Shirley died.
All right. So anyway, let me make sure that we covered everything that we were going to talk about. Yeah, that's it. So next week we will have Anne 5-star to talk about, and while we're doing that, we'll probably just be idly hitting Nightmare 150 or 200. I forget which is going to be open on that day. But we'll see you then.
Yeah, 10 seconds, right? We got Orange Boy.
That's true. We got Jeremiah.
And you have to acknowledge his loyalty, all
His
right?
loyalty, that's right. Therefore, everything important from R2 came to GBF.
It's true. They didn't do it. Did become more of a meme until R2, really.
If I remember right, they originally planned to kill off that character,
Oh yes, they did.
and then like he just became such a meme that like we can't do this. Like they'll revolt on us. Which is, a lot of code. What happened to Code Geass is that they just had to just rip up the script and make it up on the fly due to fan response. Anyway, um, God, I don't think they'll do that with One Piece. I think One Piece is considered like it's at once a sacred text, but it's also one of those things that can just cross over with anything really casually because Luffy's just a cool guy who just accepts that things are happening, takes
Ooh.
life as it comes, as long as you're not committing atrocities in his
Question
in
is,
his.
what GBF characters will be in the event?
According to the the collab
Rockham.
video announcement video, perhaps Rockham and Walder and Astariola, I think Astariola is also a member of the One Piece crew. Um, Otani Yngwie doesn't have a playable character. Takamami doesn't have a playable character. I think those are the main ones, actually. So, yeah.
So we get a sleeping nuke, is what you're telling me?
Sure, why not? Anyway, but yeah, that'll be in 2 weeks. For now, let's all just rest up and have our batteries recharged for that collab coming. I wish it was Zoro though. They can surprise us.
Anything could
They
happen.
haven't in a long time. The last time I remember that they surprised us with a character was for Detective Conan, I think. We're like, by the way, SR Amuro. And you're like, what?
Moro.
All right. Anyway, like I said, with that, our episode is complete, and we can send you back to the other Vicala screen that I have on this stream. But thanks for joining us. Um, enjoy Full Metal Man 7. It's got a lot going for it. It's super fun.